Hello there, YouTube. I'm Sam,
I'm Ree.
and we are the Rejected Gamers, and welcome back to another monthly one-shot. And this time we got a new game out, Trials Rising. Something I've been looking forward to quite a long time. Know much about Trials, Ree?
I know it's bikes. I've played a little bit, but not my kind of thing.
I think it's one of those games that everyone's played a little bit of.
Frustrating.
It is very frustrating. So I've got a lot of footage here showcasing off some of the stuff you can do in the game, which we'll talk about. Starting off with the kind of skill games, which is something they've had since the original Trials. So far I've only got 2 unlocked, but I can show you one. Basketball one is actually pretty fun. Basically, have to jump off your bike, grab a basketball, and dunk it into a hoop. Which sounds a bit odd for a racing game to do, but yeah, it's actually pretty fun. I'll talk about a little bit of my history with Trials. The first Trials game I played was Trials HD back in the day, which was an Xbox exclusive. And interesting story, the only reason I bought an Xbox was to play this back in the day, to be honest.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a bit mental there. As I said, you kind of up the ramp, jump in the air, try and grab the ball. I missed that, so I restarted. And I missed that again.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, skill games are just like, they're kind of little fun party games you can have with your friends, see who can get like the best score kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
So it's a bit mental, but it's quite funny. One thing I noticed about this game compared to the other Trials, like I was saying, the first one I played is Trials HD. This is the 4th, like, console Trials game. This one, they have like crowds and stuff, so they've kind of made it seem a bit more sporty than previous Trials. There's never background characters or human characters in the other ones. This one does have them, and I kind of like it in a way. Because Trials is an actual motorsport. I don't know if you've ever seen actual Trials biking.
Yeah.
It's insane. If anyone's not seen it, check it out, the actual Trials stuff. Some of the stuff they do almost make the game look realistic. Yeah, my stupid victory fanfare there. So that's one of the skill games, of which there's many. They've been in all the Trials games, the skill games. This one they seem to unlock as you progress through. I'm looking forward to getting more of those when I put some more time into the game. It's another new thing is the training in this. All the other Trials games have had training modes that you do before you unlock certain levels, like the easy levels you'll have training, then the medium you'll have training. This one they've kind of got one that opens due to your level, and it's quite a lot more in depth than the other training stuff I found. As you'll see on this footage, they actually have voiceover, which is, I think, first time there's a proper voiceover of a guy telling you how to do the lessons. Actually, no, the last one had voiceover.
The last one had it.
Yeah, the last one had it, like a robotic computer woman. This one's got like an actual guy. As you can see, he goes quite detailed into how to learn techniques and stuff, which I've actually, I kind of, I think it's a really good improvement, actually, and it makes it feel more based in realism.
Yeah.
In terms of sporting stuff.
And you've always played Trials, obviously, but I bet this helped you as well.
Yeah, I mean, they are quite difficult. These sets of levels, the first ones are pretty easy to do. These ones are kind of advanced techniques they're teaching you, so you don't fail if you don't finish it all. You progress through the level and you get better scores that way, and you can kind of stop at any point on them. But yeah, it's having like the slow motion explaining properly of how to do things. It's actually really kind of
Just breaks it down.
Breaks it down. So I've kind of liked the improvement of this. It shows you what happens when you fail and stuff as well. So yeah, he's just doing the intro of how to do things, and then you'll see me having a few tries at it, which I kind of do well and then do badly. This is pre-recorded footage as well. It's I wanted to talk about Trials, but talking about it and playing it at the same time it's not an easy thing to do.
Playing it is too difficult anyway.
It takes a lot of concentration on getting stuff done. So it's all pre-recorded footage, but it's a lot of what you can do in the game I've captured, so we can talk about each bit as it goes on, as well as interject some of the history. I found out as well that Trials is pretty much 20 years old now. So it started as like a Flash web game, I think, originally.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Not a great start for me. I think I came off with a bit too much power. It is Luckily, Trials as well is if you fail, it's very quick to restart. So it's like you're straight back in. Very similar to things like Super Meat Boy, Hotline Miami. I think it's very similar. Those kind of games are almost like their own genre in a way. Like kind of, I don't know what you would call it, but it's like hard games. That's very easy to fail, but very easy to get straight back into it to give it another try.
You just keep trying. Addictive.
Trying. As you can see, it's like I've not edited out the footage here, so these restarts are real-time restarts. It's like I fail, restart, straight back into it. It's like nothing's been cut out there, like no editing.
Just like Trials.
It is Trials, yeah. As I was saying, like real Trials. If you watch it, it's quite similar to what you're seeing on this game in this point. A lot of Trials is really like this, getting over the obstacles and stuff, and it is mental.
I've seen they bunny hop just for like miles, not miles.
Yeah, it's like some of the obstacles you get over just don't look physically possible. It looks like you actually are watching someone play the Trials video game. It's insane. Of course, they don't have the loops and the explosions that the games generally have, but yeah. So I kind of get into the swing of it a little bit, but it's Trials. I think a kind of misconception about the game is it's the Sonic the Hedgehog gotta go fast.
Yeah, that's how I play.
Yeah, it's not always true though. It's like sometimes you have to go slow to go fast in Trials.
Yeah.
It's a fine line of like, I mean, once you're skilled enough, you don't have to wait so much in between the tricks you're doing and stuff. But what I show here is you've probably seen there's that other guy who's been going beside me. And while he is, you can switch to him, and you can see in the bottom left what the controls are, how he's doing it, and you can kind of try and emulate that. So I think that's a good feature on the training as well, and then you can switch back to yourself, and then not learn anything, as I've proven there. It's like I can get the landing, but it's keeping it there is the difficult. But that's what this training session's all about. Is just like, I don't think I go on for too much longer on this one. I think I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. So, but I like the new training mechanics, or as it calls. And
they didn't have this before, did they?
No, they had like
just that one
practice level each between certain tracks and stuff, and they kind of showed you some of the techniques, but it wasn't as in depth as this one is. Yeah, it's like so. And I've noticed as well with the kind of practice area in this, it looks very similar to where all the levels were set in the original Trials. Yeah. Which I can imagine they've probably done on purpose and been like, people always miss the warehouse from the first Trials HD, so they've kind of put it in the training mode for this. And all the crash mats everywhere, which I found hilarious as well.
I'm sure they help.
Well, I don't know, some of the heights that he falls from, it's like, I don't know if the crash mats are going to help him that well. But at least I'm wearing a helmet.
Safety first.
Safety first. Remember, kids, safety first. But yeah, as I was saying, it's like I bought Xbox 360 originally to play Trials HD. I mean, I got it to play things like Halo and Gears of War as well, but I never really played those games that much. I found myself pretty much always going to Trials.
What happened there?
I just decided to bail out. Okay. Press triangle on your bike at any point and you just fly off the bike. I was like, right, yeah, I'm done. So... for some reason, he grabbed onto the thingy as well. So, yeah, that's a bit of the training stuff. I can't remember where I show next, either one of the levels or... It's how they've broken this down is they really are going into the kind of realistic competition element to it. So each track you go on, you're always racing against ghosts of other players or the developers, trying to beat them. You have the kind of racing competitions, which I think I show first. If anyone's played Trials before and played the multiplayer stuff, where you're kind of racing against multiplayer people, these competition ones are very similar. So it's you and 8 people, and then you have to come in from the 8th place, you have to come top 4. Then on the second one, you have to come in top 2 and then win. Yeah. And there's like 3 rounds where you have to progress like that. So
is that online? Or?
No, I think... I don't know how it's done. I think everyone that has like the little Ubisoft thing next to it are kind of the developers. Yeah. So sometimes you're racing against the times that the developers have done. And then I think sometimes if you've done well, it will take your race and put it into other people's games. So in a way, it's kind of online multiplayer, but not live online. You can do live online stuff. Yeah. But for the general tracks and things like this, because of like the restarting and stuff, it's not quite live. So I think I do restart this track, and you'll see it'll be everyone else, the same riders, back to the start. So it's kind of like online but not, which I think is a kind of interesting way to make it so you are competing against people, but not at the same. I don't know how you would explain it, but you're kind of against people, but also not really against them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. Yeah, I failed badly on that, so I restarted it. But yeah, it's I've already completed this track and got the gold medal. So when I came back in to capture this, the riders were all better than when I did it the previous time.
Gold. Yeah.
So I think every time you first do a track, if you beat the ghosts and the other riders, which is easily done the first time.
What, so the ghosts are to your level kind of thing? Or?
Yeah, I think like every time you beat a level, if you go back to it, it's better people.
Yeah.
Or with better times and stuff, so it's like you're not against the same people always coming first. It's kind of increasing the challenge each time. So I think that's really cool how they've done that as well. I don't know how they do it. Maybe they look at track times or stuff like that, and they're like, he's been averaging this time on these courses, we'll put these people on it or something. But yeah, so the second time I did this, like the first time I was getting first easy, and it's like I just edged in with second or third, I think. Yeah, second, managed to get in there. So yeah, it's each time you have to come into the top a certain amount, and then you just go to the next one. So that's like the that's one element of the game. It's competitions. I think I'll go to show a few tracks now, and how they've done it with tracks is you do the normal track of trying to get your trophies of getting gold with like no faults, as all trials have done. But they also do these things called sponsorship, where you get given certain tasks to try and perform. Oh, I'll show the customization, actually. I'll get back to what I was saying. Customization, there's a lot of customization in this game. When you level up and stuff, you get crates. You open crates, you get items. So you can change your shirts, change the colours. You can add stickers. So it's really good. I think they've done a small amount of customization in the previous trials, but this one's kind of taking it further with what you can do. Unfortunately, you have to unlock stuff. You either get them through crates, or you can buy them using either points that you get while completing the game, or annoyingly that kind of pay real life money to unlock. So you'll see in the top right, there's kind of blue acorns. You use those are real money stuff that you can buy.
Right.
Whereas the kind of the gold cogs are stuff that you get while playing the game actually.
Levels, yeah.
So you can unlock stuff that way. You can add stickers as well as change colours of things. So as you see here, it's like loads of stickers. Again, either you unlock or buy them. They're usually a lot cheaper though. So, and yeah, you've got really good details of like changing the size, changing the position of where you want to put the sticker. Cool. It's like I've put them on the back of my jacket already. I'm just giving a bit of show of it's the sticker placement reminds me a lot of like if anyone's played WWE. And how you put in like logos and stuff and that is a very similar kind of system. And you can layer them, which is what I did on the back of the jacket.
Do you get crates from leveling up, is it?
Yeah, so each time you level up, as you can see, mine is at 26. So every time when I go to 27, I'll level up. I think I level up during the footage and I quickly show the crates. You've got your loading poses, your victory animation, which I really hate of mine. But I don't have enough stuff to... unlock one yet. You can get these through the crates as well. It's not just items for your rider. You can get items for your bike, so you can change the look of your bike. It doesn't change how your bike performs. It just changes the look. Which I think I show quickly. So like the body kit, I got like a couple of different body kits that you can just change.
That's cool.
Yeah, it doesn't change the performance, but it's really cool of having.
Have they done that before? Changing the bikes, or they just
you
give
could change the
bike?
colours.
Yeah.
But that's it. You couldn't change the individual pieces, whereas now you can. So it's like, I think because they do the almost online stuff where you're against other ghosts and people.
Yeah.
I think the customization adds in that sense. Like everyone is different.
Changes you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a pretty cool added. As you can see, it's like you can buy stuff, expansions. I have the expansions. I don't know why I went there. I got the gold edition, so it comes with the expansions anyway. Track editor, which all the trials have done. Interesting fact, the track editor in the game is exactly the same track editor that the developers who make the game use.
Oh.
So people who buy the game and go on track editor, how you make a game is exactly the same way as the people who've made the game. I mean, obviously they've created all the assets and stuff. But it's like actually pretty cool. Apparently a lot of their staff, they started off with like 10 people. They now have over 100, and a lot of their staff they've taken from people who used to make games online through the Trials games. So they found people who've been like, you make good tracks. Do you want to work for us and work on an actual Trials game?
That's incredible.
So, yeah, if you like this game, I mean, and you want to get in the gaming industry, maybe that's an avenue to go. Give it a try. I mean, everyone knows, like, Valve used to buy people or employ people who did all mods and stuff. Yeah, so anyway, getting on a tangent. So this is one of the normal tracks. You may have seen at the start there was a thing to try and do for the sponsorship, which is beat the rider, which is the ghost I'm going against. I'm failing so badly because I've gone into this track blind and I have no idea what's coming up, so I failed a fair few moments at the start. Also, I watch a lot of speedruns of this game, which, if anyone likes speedruns, or even if you don't, watch the Trials ones. They are insane. They make the game look so easy, but it's so hard to explain of how difficult the game actually is. Speedrunners make it look easy. It is not easy. It is a very difficult game.
Yeah.
But I've learned some techniques that they've said, things like if you're going off certain jumps, front flips kind of gives you forward momentum and it gives you a little edge, so you might see that I will front flip a lot sometimes, because it occasionally will give me that kind of little edge to just get there. Landing on your back wheel as well, because motorbikes are wheel drive, so landing on your back wheel is where you get the most power, and the front wheel will take that a bit away. So things that I do that I've taken from watching speedruns of the game, so they're actually impressive to watch, but quite handy for learning how to play as well.
Yeah,
probably more than the actual game teaches sometimes.
What makes you go quicker, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it is all about, I completely freaked out. I was like, what's going on? I'm going to a pipe, and it went like this, and sadly, I faffed it up. I almost saved it. I was like, I'm still alive, I can go. No, I can't survive in water. So I did have a restart. Usually I like to go for no faults, but I was like, doesn't matter, I think I'm ahead of the guy I'm supposed to beat, so I was like, crack on. Well, it did throw me when I kind of just appeared in this. I was like, what the hell? As if you've never seen a Trials game and you're looking at it and be like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, that's pretty much Trials.
Yeah.
The previous games, especially the last one, Trials Fusion, have been a bit more crazier. Like, the last one was kind of futuristic sci-fi setting, which I like the game. I didn't like the setting that much, because the other Trials have been kind of grounded in the real world, and Fusion went a bit too left field, I think, for some people's taste. That's probably why they've gone a bit back to the real world setting and added the competition elements. As you saw, I leveled up, got a crate, and those are the bits I get. You can pay gold coins to reopen the crate to get other items, but I was like, I got a bit for a bike, that's rare, and rare stickers, so I'm going to keep them anyway, because why not, even though I'll probably not use the stickers. So yeah, you get your crates, and there is crates you can buy as well, but I'm like, I bought the game, I probably won't spend any more money on getting stuff, I'll just play the game to unlock stuff. But yeah, sadly, what's that thing that they do in games now? The loot crate stuff?
Loot crates,
yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense a little bit in this game, and it doesn't... The stuff you buy are purely cosmetic.
Yeah.
And even then, so it doesn't really make it... So you don't have to unlock levels with money. So, I mean, it's not taking anything away, so it's not too bad. You can ignore it. I mean, it's still annoying. I can understand why developers do it, because, it's a business and you want to make money.
Yeah.
I think as long as, they've done it in Trials where it's not really affecting gameplay, well, not really, it just doesn't affect gameplay.
It's not like, it doesn't make you better than everyone else by it more, but...
So this is another level showing Scotland, which is probably the track closest to home for us. Not that we're even near Scotland, but it's part of the UK. As you saw, there was, the 4 riders, including myself there, so they'll be the ghosts of people who have done the track. And it's basically, obviously you want to get through the track as best as you can, but you also want to try and beat them. And I had did this track before, but I completely forgot how it went. So I was like, I can't remember how to do this. And then it kind of clicks, and I was like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing now. This track annoyed me a lot yesterday, because I was really trying to go for that no faults and trying to beat the person in front. So I did a rage quit during this level yesterday. I was just like, yeah, I'm done. And then I went back to it about 2 hours later and finally got through it.
I think that's what makes this game successful is it does make you rage quit all the time, but you always go back to it.
Yeah, it's a lot of the tracks, they come up with the little tips things. They like plug the Ubisoft forums for people who want to meet other Trials players.
Yeah.
But they also have one where it's got a quote of saying, I'll give it one more try, and then they say it's a Trials player at 2 a.m. in the morning, and it's like, yeah, I've been there. I haven't with this one yet, because I only got it yesterday, and it's only come out a few days ago. But yeah, it's in previous Trials I have had points where I'm like, oh, one more try.
Yeah.
I think I have before quitted the game and then actually restarted it straight away, being like, nah, bugger it, I'll try again. I've gone to that level of completely closing down the game and reopening it because I'm like, I'll give it another try. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying this game. It's as you'll see when you get on the world map, I've got a fair few tracks unlocked. It seems to have the most tracks of any Trials game previously, and because I've got the gold edition, I've got I think 55 extra tracks, but I've not come across them yet, so there's a lot of stuff out there. They've definitely added things with the sponsorships to give you replay, and there's challenges. You'll see all the different things on different tracks, like the red biker is just a normal level, gold is when you've completed it and done all the things, little people faces like the sponsorship extra things to do.
Yeah.
What I'm showing here, I think, is a bit of the multiplayer stuff you can do. I can't quite remember. I think it should be multiplayer. There is some multiplayer modes where you can play online, like the racing against other people and ghosts. You can play local, where you're doing that with people. And a new one, tandem, which is you and a friend both controlling the same bike. Which, you've actually played a bit of this as well.
This just now, yeah. I like it. It's not as hard as you think it would be.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen other people playing it and they've been like telling each other, right, no, accelerate now, lean forward now. And I thought, if you know the basics of the game,
if you just do what you're going to do.
Yeah, if you do it as you would do the track anyway, both of yous, you kind of, you get it. You'll see on this, it's like, because it's the first time I've done tandem, I was like, oh my god, what's going on? So we fail a few bits, but you'll see that we kind of get into the flow, because we started and be like, right, gas, forwards, no, backwards, and then we kind of just stopped talking and just naturally just went for it, and then you'll see, even though we kept on failing there, we get the flow, but it is fun as well, though, isn't it?
It's fun, yeah.
It is fun.
I think it's a good multiplayer like element. It's not
something
against each other, you know.
Actually, yeah, Trials multiplayer has always been against each other, whereas this one's brought in this co-op stuff, like actual cooperative play, which it's ingenious, to be honest. Two people on one bike.
Yeah.
It's very odd, but it's very fun. And you can see, getting into the flow there, we're like, right, we're fine. A couple of quite near misses and saves, but once you get into the flow, it's actually pretty impressive. The bike's really heavy as well, so the controls. And as we noticed, I don't think we have any footage of it, but if one person comes off the bike,
you still go, yeah.
Yeah, whoever's left on the bike still goes, and it's possible, when you were playing it earlier, you actually got pretty far with it, didn't you?
Yeah, you can finish the level, I suppose. But
yeah, I mean, you got quite far, but because the bike's so heavy...
Yeah, it doesn't go as fast, I think.
Yeah, and you don't have as much power.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not one person controls the throttle, one person controls left and right, the lean. It's literally both players control both.
It is both. Yeah. So they put up a thing at the bottom and it says if both players are going gas, it doesn't say on that one, but if both players are doing gas, you'll get 120% speed. And I think it's generally 50-50 split, so you have 50% control of the bike. So not like Ree was saying one person does brake. It is, you both have gas. Oh, there you see, it's like if you work together, your gas gets 120. So it's the power of the bike, the movement of the bike is all halved.
Yeah.
In that kind of way, so
when you lose one player, then it
gets difficult because you lose power, you lose control, because it's a lot. It's the weight of a bike really does count in moving, and a lot of the mechanics of the game, as well as just throttle and brake.
The physics and everything.
It is the physics. Yeah, it's a very physics-heavy game. Something that we've done a lot of physics-heavy games on this channel so far, but it's all about your weight distribution, which I gather is pretty much like actual motorcycling and Trials in real life. It's leaning backwards if you're going downhill, it's leaning forwards if you're going uphill, so you're centered over the handlebars, so you're not flipping backwards and things.
Yeah.
So it's which can get tricky in the co-op stuff, but it can be fun. That's why we found it hard to be like telling each other lean forwards, lean backwards. It's like just kind of figure it out yourselves, and it can get easy that way. Oh, we do a complete fail here because I just dropped, but somehow we saved it.
Wow.
I know, I was quite impressed with that. It was just like, oh my god, we failed, and it's like, nope, we're good. I was like so happy with that. So I'm glad I got some footage of that. That was pretty good. But yeah, I think I'm going to put more time into it. I'm trying to think. I wouldn't mind doing a monthly challenge on it as well. Maybe doing the races. I do show some footage of the multiplayer race you can do against someone else, which you can do online or couch co-op. I think online you can maybe go up to 8 people. With couch, it's 4 people because consoles don't connect more than 4 controllers usually, unless probably the Switch. Maybe I can't remember. But
is it on the Switch?
It is. It actually first time because, as I was saying, like I got the Xbox 360 for the original Trials because the first 2 Trials games were Xbox exclusives and PC. They did a PC version that had both of the first 2 games, which I've now got. I don't have an Xbox anymore, but I've got the first 2 on the PC. And then because I think the studio got bought by Ubisoft, because originally they were working with Xbox, then Ubisoft bought them, and Ubisoft wanted it on more consoles. So Trials Fusion, which I also have on the PS4, came out on PlayStation for the first time, and then this one has come out on the Switch. I was very tempted to get it on the Switch, because I was like, portability, it could be pretty good. I could take it to work for lunchtime and play a bit of it, but I kind of went for I can't even remember why I picked the PS4 version.
Probably power.
I think power, and I think capturing. It's just a bit easier to capture from my PS4 than the Switch. I mean, they're both similar, but yeah, I think I was just like, I got the other one on PS4.
Yeah.
And I found out I did unlock some bonus stuff because I had the previous one on PS4, so that it kind of worked out anyway. So yeah, as you saw on the competition tracks, the multiplayer, it's another co-op one, very similar, head-to-head. You have to get first place with as least faults as you can. Like, if you come first, but you've had 2 faults, and the person who comes second has had no faults, even though you've come first, you won't get the points because you've had more fails, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like you want to get through as quick as you can with as less fails as you can. And some of these tracks can be quite difficult. They're not as elaborate as the normal levels. They're more kind of like real motocross kind of trials biking, like stuff, and it works well in the realistic competition set they're going. It works brilliantly, I think. But so yeah, as you see, I think I came second on that, but I still got the most points. And yes, that annoying sound.
I think I found out the hard way, didn't I?
Yeah, you came first most of the times, but you failed most of the times as well. So I took the win. Obviously, 2 people is good. I've played it with 4 people before as well. That's a good blast as well. Yeah, it's like the more people you've got, it gets a bit more competitive. When it's 2 people, it's easy to kind of take the lead or keep the lead and stuff. When there's more people, it kind of gets a bit insane. And with like the tracks you do, you can go in, I think you can add up to 8 tracks, so you can have as many tracks as you want. And I don't know how many track options there are, but there's a fair few, from easy ones to medium ones to hard ones. So it's like you've got a lot of stuff you can do with it, of like change it up in a lot of ways. Cool. I think the amount of wins as well, so you could have it 1 track, but you can have 2 races at that 1 track kind of thing. So you can you can make it as long as you want and as small as you want. I might have shown it, I think, but I forgot to talk about it at the time. Something they've added on this is a betting system, and I know gambling's bad. But this one's actually different. It's not kind of game related. I mean, it's done in the game. Basically, what you do is you add a bet where it will be like, for example, one of the actual thing is winner buys pizza. Oh. So you set this bet, and then whoever wins or loses on the round, that's a bet you would then do in real life. So it's like it's got this little element of like real life competition it's added, which is pretty cool. You can put it.
That is cool.
You can pick one. It's like winner, loser gets a drink. all this random stuff. Loser has to do an animal impression. It's like you can add those onto the races. So if you've got, it's kind of like an actual party mode, because I think they do call it party mode.
Yeah.
So it's like you can bring in a little bit of, if you've got a few friends around and you're having some drinks, or not drinking, not everyone drinks. Yeah.
No.
I mean, if you do drink, why not play with the bets? And every time someone fails, they have to take a drink. One finger. If you don't drink, doesn't matter. You can still have fun, even with the bets, because I don't think they're drinking related, because they are. It's a game for all ages anyway. So
exactly.
There is one of like buy a drink, but I think they've labelled it the loser buys everyone a soft drink. But obviously, you can interpret it as you want. So it's pretty cool. It's a good party game. Obviously, in the modern day of everything's online, it's nice that they have games like this which are adding the kind of and this is synchronized failing. it's added in that kind of element. But yeah, this is kind of the end of the video now. Sorry. I hope you've enjoyed our little discussion about it and what's going on in the game. I think it's great. It is very maddening.
It is mad.
It's a very difficult game, so you can get very angry, but you'll find yourself coming back. So I would recommend it. It's very cheap as well. It's brand new. The gold edition with the expansion passes is like $25, I'm not too sure, $30, but it's cheap. I'd recommend it. Do you recommend it, Ree?
Definitely, yeah. It's you can spend a lot of time on it, and you'll get lots of play out of it as well. So definitely recommend it.
So thanks for watching this episode. Tune in next month for another monthly one shot, and we'll catch you again later.
Goodbye.